Welcome back to the City of Caldwell podcast. We're back at the Caldwell Veterans Memorial Hall, and I have two great friends and guests with me today. I'm going to let them introduce themselves in a second, but we have some great information we're going to talk about today and all the different kind of services that you want to make aware to all the veterans and the non-veterans out there, because even the non-veterans, they might know somebody, right? So go ahead and introduce yourself a little bit. Tell us your names first, and then we'll get into just your backstory.
Well, my name is Scott Ray, and 20-year Coast Guard veteran. Been with the Hall for 3 years now, and the DAV about 3 years.
Nice.
So my name is Steve Zimmerman. I'm actually a former Air Force veteran, relocated to Idaho in '95, very prominent in healthcare. So this is my way of really interfacing with the community and giving back. I function in the capacity with the DAV, as well as promoting community relations for the Veterans Hall and bridging our gap and bringing us all together.
Right. So as we speak right now, whenever you're watching this, this is October 2024. Can you just give us an update on some of the memorials out there that have been brought here and just how that's been going?
Well, we just brought the large memorial that was over at the old City Hall. It was set up by the Elks. We brought that over and got that installed right in front with full lighting. And we've also have two more memorials. We have the Littleton Memorial, along with all the recipients of the Medal of Honor that earned them while they're in Idaho, or joined while they were in Idaho, or joined the military when they were in Idaho, or were born in Idaho. So there's quite an extensive list going all the way back to the Indian Wars. And then we've also have a tribute to the Gold Star families as well. And everything is lit and looks really nice. We'll be having a dedicated ceremony on November 11th.
Nice. And you guys are still taking orders?
We are still taking brick orders. It's $100 donation for, I believe it's 4 lines that are going to be all put in a brick path out in front.
And that brings up an interesting point we just talked about, in that the bricks are for anyone. It doesn't have to be specifically for a veteran if a family just wants to honor someone. So anyone can lay a brick. It doesn't have to be specific to one individual.
And while we're talking about that, go ahead and continue on that line of thinking, right?
Okay.
Just as far as we talked about, a big part of the reason why we're doing this video is we or you all, your team wants everyone in the community to know that this hall is for everyone.
Yeah, and that's a great point. You know, I've been associated with the hall for about 6 months now. And the one thing I've seen is that enigma where, you know, as you drive by, we have a reader board in that. And it's hard to ascertain that this is a building here for everyone. The building here is historic. It's a shell, and it houses other entities to support veterans in different capacities. So we want to make sure that the community really knows that this is not just for veterans of foreign wars or combat veterans, our young veterans, people that need services, assistance in that. We're here for everyone. And that even includes to some degree the community. You know, we work with the law enforcement, we work with mayor's office, and that to make sure that we're assisting in the best way we can.
And kind of in your words, you said something to the effect of, it's not just old, this place isn't just for old people.
Right.
It's for the younger veterans, or maybe even
future veterans.
Yeah,
I mean, we have a great wall of fame downstairs is a good way to put it. But that's the biggest thing, is that, as I know it, being younger and around the different people, people associate one with another. And it's when you look at the VA, or you see some of these different things on media, you know, that are, and I'm not going to say it specifically by name, but they are very tailored organizations. And that's what we really want everybody in the community to know, that this is dedicated for the community. We're donation-based, as you know, Brian. And, you know, so however we can help, however we can intervene, we travel around the community. And our outreach, of course, for this facility is far beyond just the city limits of Caldwell. So there's a number of the surrounding veterans and families that we support.
Right. And while you're on that, speaking of outreach, ways that people can get plugged in or just interact with the hall. Why don't you tell us about your forum really quick that you have going on?
Okay, so what we have done is we've always had the webpage for the Caldwell Veterans Memorial Hall. There's been a Facebook page and an Instagram page. And what I've done now is I've actually created a Facebook group because that's more common, where people can two-way communicate with us if they want a message. Downstairs, we have a remarkable facility as far as an event room, full commercial kitchen, things of that nature that is available to the public. The boardroom that we're in right now. So that's one of the things is really that outreach and letting people know that that's available, because that captures funds for the hall and captures proceeds that we can get back into the public.
Right.
But then on that note, at the same time, we have two different veteran service officers here that will help veterans get their claims for the VA started. So, and that's free of charge. There's no charge to them. We also have the our shower for homeless vets. We can get them clothing, food, financial support, all through donations from the public. Whether it's through the hall itself or the Disabled American Veterans, the Chapter 1 here that's located in the hall. And
I think to answer your question, what we're doing is we're expanding our footprint and making it easier for the public to reach out to us. We realize that some people, especially the youngers, they have a 9-to-5 job, So our veteran service officers that Scott mentioned, they're volunteering now to potentially come in the evening. We have to, of course, schedule that or on the weekend. So people that can't get in because of a regular job, we're expanding to try and make that accessible to everyone.
Okay, great. For either of you, is there something that the general public doesn't quite know about the services, or something that the hall is doing that you feel like people should know about, or maybe there's like an underutilized this or that here that people don't really know?
well, that would go and tie in with the veteran service officers.
Yeah.
That a lot of people don't realize. They think they have to go to Boise when they don't have to drive all the way into Boise. They can get a hold. They can come in and make appointments here in person, or they can get online and go through the state veteran service officers program, and they can get appointments made here to come and talk to a local veteran service officer.
Cool.
They're no longer over at the Department of Labor, so we have 2 full-time employees down here. They're the only paid people in this hall. Everybody else is volunteered, and the money that we raise does not go to pay their salaries. That's paid by the state of Idaho.
Right.
And to Scott's point, as he mentioned on the veteran service officers, that's the one thing that I was trying to set the precedence on, and that we are multifaceted. We have the veteran service officers. We have the disabled American veterans. So where someone may walk in to have a meeting here and they can't necessarily get the assistance, we have other entities within the building that can perform as a bridge. So we're really offering that full service based on what their needs are, not just one specific facet, which some people associate with the Veterans Administration. We're multidimensional.
Right. Well, thank you for sharing that today. Was there anything else that you guys wanted to touch on before we end our time together?
Well, I think we need to talk about why it's important for veterans, whether they're from Korea, Vietnam,
Persian Gulf,
whatever time they served. It's important for them to get out and volunteer, not necessarily here, but within their community. I mean, there's several aspects that can help them out. I mean, we have lots of veterans that are they're self-isolated, and the self-isolation is not good for them. Here they come down. They can come down here, and if they choose, and become part of the system, where they're just our coffee clutches. Right now, they're every first and third Thursday. After the first of the year, we're going to have it every Thursday from 8 to 11. It's a great spot for people to come in and talk. The biggest part of my job, as far as I'm concerned, is just listening to other veterans. You got two ears for one reason. And
the camaraderie that we found, even when I came here, I didn't know that even the building was here, is like finding an old brotherhood, like going back to school. You're friends again. You don't have, we relate to what others have gone through. So there's kind of no shame, as one might say. So it's really uplifting. It motivates those people to get out. As Scott mentioned, we're volunteer based. That keeps people from, hiding behind things and isolating problems. That's one of the big things we all face in all levels, our youth and everything today, whether they can express themselves. So the brotherhood, there's an old saying that they taught me: you're never ex-military. You're always military. You're always brothers and sisters. And that's what we really try to represent here. And that's one of the important things that I think Scott is addressing is don't get shut in. Interface with your friends, interface with your community. And it really does make a difference.
Yeah. So I love what you guys are doing, just helping get community for certain people that we all need community.
Absolutely.
But just, if you're saying the tendency is for some of the vets to isolate, to get them plugged in, get around people,
Sure.
Like-minded community. So what's the best way for them to get plugged in? And maybe you can tell us best way to get plugged in, but also maybe there's that one person out there that's kind of like, I kind of have a hard time getting out, and motivated. What advice would you give to somebody like that, where it's kind of like, hey, make this step.
The first step is getting out the door.
Mm-hmm.
Getting out the door, and we're open Monday through Friday from 8 o'clock to 5 o'clock, and somebody's always here willing to listen.
Mm-hmm.
And that's important. The volunteering, it can be as simple as a couple of week ago we were out cleaning another gal's yard up for a veteran that she needed help getting all the weeds out, and so we went and did that. That can just simple something that simple, or building a ramp for a wheelchair veteran or senior citizen. Emptying out storage sheds, we've done that. It's all in what you want the people want to put into it. But whether it's through the hall, through the church, through the Boy Scouts, the Girl Scouts, get involved. If we don't get involved, we're letting down our own youth. When I grew up, I grew up, of course, in a different era where everybody volunteered. Everybody. Or at least it seemed like it. And now it's difficult. We get people to join, and you only maybe get 10% of the people that join an organization will actually follow through and volunteer.
Mm-hmm.
And the ones that don't, what are they getting out of it? I don't know. Each vet or each person that volunteers gets something out of it, whatever they pull out of it. Some people like accolades. Some people don't like accolades. I personally don't like accolades. I would rather sit back in the background and do what I got to do.
Right.
I don't need the pat on the back. You're doing a great job. I don't need that. I don't like that.
Mm-hmm. And we're not here just for the personal gratification. I think, Brian, to one of your points, you asked how people can learn more. So we do have the website for the hall. That's CBMH, the initials of the hall, -vets.org. One of the nice things there is there's a full calendar of events. We have a DAV breakfast coming up, the Caldwell Veterans Celebration, our Veterans Day celebration, and even on Christmas Eve, we'll be doing a dinner where we'll not just be serving that here, but we'll be going outreach to homebound veterans and delivering meals. So full schedule of events up through 2025, a great pictorial of what, some of the different events we've done in the past, our annual clay shoot and the other things. So there's plenty of public information, or as Scott mentioned, they could reach out to any of us that are here at the hall. And we have a day watch officer when they come in that they greet with. That's one of the great volunteer opportunities. And those people are trained to direct people to make sure that their needs are met.
And the day watch officer does not need to be a veteran. It can be anybody that just wants to put in time and help their community.
And just willing to receive
Be a receptionist
the
for
people
yeah.
who come in.
Exactly.
Yeah, my philosophy is very simple. I've seen people that come in sometimes frustrated, with the way the system is working. And by letting them know we have multiple entities here, often they walk away feeling satisfied, because it's not just, oh, we can't help you. We always try and bridge that gap and get them down to that path where they walk out of the building feeling fulfilled, or that someone cares about them.
Yeah, get them to the next step.
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. Well, guys, thank you so much for just spending some time with us and letting us know what's going on. Did you want any last words before we conclude?
Well, I would just like to thank the mayor and you and the team, for continuing to support us and help us get our message out there. I think together we all make a difference.
Yep.
And I would just have to echo the same that Steve just said.
Nice. So if you're a veteran out there, or if you know somebody who's a veteran, help them get plugged in if they aren't already. So thanks, guys. Have a nice day.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.